Welcome to Metal Gear Explain. In this video, we're going to be diving deep into Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater and going to showcase what I feel should happen for this game going forward. We already know it's a faithful remake. We just made a video. You can check that out later. But today, we're going to dive into awesome game modes or features that we should have as we continue. And I'm going to make this a series, so we're going to continue this. So drop what you think should be done when it comes to new game modes or features within this remake. All right, before we get started, I do have a giveaway, multiple giveaways for this game. All you need to do is be a subscriber and comment, and I will gladly be selecting winners and announcing them right here on these videos. So stay tuned for that. With that out of the way, let's get into this breakdown. At number one, I think the easiest and the most important thing to add is a speedrun timer and scoreboard for the game. All right, after you finish the game, you will unlock an amazing new feature that will track your time only in the gameplay, no cutscenes. And it'll score you just like the game scores you for stealth or no stealth and all of that. By the end of the game, you can have yours on the leaderboards and see who has the best records. Officially, I think this is a mandatory, and I think it should make a video about it because I do have footage of an amazing game from The Last of Us that actually made this feature for both their new PS5 versions of the games. And I think that could be key for us as fans to be able to have a good time with the speed running. And I'm honestly going to make a video about that because I think it's critical. Okay. That out of the way, let's get into a quick second and say that I'm going to be showcasing the original footage, the first minutes, okay, of the story. So if you haven't played the game, there's spoilers, but I mean, everything you see here was in the trailers, so pretty much not spoiling as much. With that out of the way, let's dive into number two. And number two is one that might be very controversial, but I like it. All right. A permadeath mode added to the speedrun. Just a quick and simple thing. And permadeath mode added to all of it. Right, so you can select whatever difficulty, and then you're going to add this to it and basically make you start over. And there's going to be little features in there that I think could be very cool and interesting. But I just thought seeing other games put permadeath and having to restart from the beginning can be a good way to teach people how to speedrun and how to really master the game in a way that, you know, most are not used to. So it's kind of a combination, but that's another one. Now, I do want to talk about two modes that we've seen. Well, there's actually more than two modes. There's a bunch of different modes in the original games from the series. And one of the ones that we had for part 3 was the catching the monkeys. Got to catch them all, right? And it's funny, it's fun, it's interesting, and I loved it. And I think that that would be very cool to bring back, of course, for the fun and just, you know, the memes. But in today's day, you know, having a bunch of other features that we saw before can be in there. Things like the skateboarding, and that can be another great feature. Something along those lines where it's more just relaxed. Okay. Then there's what the main reason I made this video, and I'm going to have a video about this as well. Probably the most important thing for me is going to be Snake Tales. If you guys don't know what Snake Tales is, it's pretty much for Metal Gear Solid 2. It's pretty much its own storyline. It's an alternate reality where Snake basically goes through all these story missions and all these different things that are not exactly canon, but they're fun and interesting and unique experiences where you're basically replaying the missions, but as Solid Snake. And then there's different scenarios and situations that happen within that is pretty fun and amazing. And the reason I bring this up is because I personally believe, and I have a video I'm going to be making about this, that can be done with Skullface. It could be done with the boss. There's a lot of storylines. I think the boss would be the best, in my opinion. But you can go down the rabbit hole on which character that you would like to play that as. Maybe all of them, right? Ocelot's my favorite character in the series, so maybe him. And so we'll just explore that. And they don't have to do a lot. They're going to use the game's missions and areas, but they're just going to change the story and add the other characters in there and give them a plot line. And you could make it official canon if you really were going to go in deep, having that Snake Tales go deeper down the rabbit hole. And I think that could be a lot of fun. Okay. Now I have a few modes that people might not want or don't think is good. I personally think if they're making a great product and they can add extra stuff later, you know, a free update, a DLC, and all those things we're talking about can be added, then why not? So these are 3 modes that we've known and heard that can be used in Snake Eater all together. You have boss mode. Boss mode, pretty much in this game, you have some of the most iconic bosses. The end is literally my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorites. And basically, imagine you're just able to go into the boss mode on the hardest difficulty. Maybe there's modifiers in there where it changes things and you don't have any weapons, or they got, you know, extra damage on them or extra health, or other enemies spawned into the boss fight, and a variation of the boss where they're shooting fire element damage on you. There's ways to go that I personally believe can be the best. And so I'm very passionate about that. And so the boss fights to me will be something easily done perfectly. I think can be great. And then a survival mode. Survival mode is more, you get put in the biggest area on the game. I mean, you know, let's just say we go to where Ocelot is, or we'll go to where the Metal Gear is. There's so many places in this game, but you go to one of those locations and that's where you survive. And you got to just survive waves of enemies, bosses coming out all at the same time. And you're just surviving as long as possible. And I think that would be very cool. And you could call it a horde mode as well. Put those 2 together. I was going to announce that, but that'll be something that I think could be fun and interesting that I love. All right. Now we're going to get into a couple of in-game things that I think can be very cool. These aren't exactly different modes, but it can be as well. Besides chapters and being able to say, oh, let me go to the first area or this area, that area, and be able to select where you want to go instead of having to have save files the way we do. Being able to have selected areas like, okay, this area, enter at this point in this base. And to me, that would be a feature that's necessary in the modern day. I think that's cool. Another cool feature that could be fun, we have ways to play as other characters. Thought that would be funny to have more of those faces and outfits. Just add in extra things, you know, make it funny, make it interesting, you know, have a second Ocelot face and then his outfit. And then all of a sudden when he sees you, he's like, what? You're not me. You know, adding in a silly little line. I think that would be very cool to revisit. Another cool, quick feature is emotes. Why not? We see them in the online modes of these games, and mechanically they can work with the button setup. And all you got to do is hit that button and you can do an emote. And this isn't a big deal, but this is for the fans. This is for us, right? For us to make videos and clips and to have fun experiences like that. Personally, I love that. And one of the last ones is a dynamic change to the experience. But personally, I love stealth games that have lighting systems. So if you don't know what a lighting system is, it's basically if there's enemies in a room and you shut down the power like you do in the Phantom Pain, then they won't be able to see you, and now you can sneak a little better. And while that might be broken for Snake Eater, I do think it's useful if they just put a couple of them that are like breakable, that can give you a little bit extra stealth. But that's just me. Those are some of the breakdowns, and we're gonna have a series of this, and I do have multiple videos that I will be making for this for you guys, so lock in for that. I hope you guys are enjoying the retro original game footage here as we break this down. I do want you guys to know that I have that giveaway, and I want to give away to as many people as possible. So if you can share this as well, so that we can get more people in here. The more we get, the more I'll give, basically. So get this out there and make sure you comment so that you can be able to win, and I'll announce it right in these videos. That out of the way, I do have some breakdowns. As I told you guys, I want to talk about Snake Tails in detail. I am going to do a speed run version of this conversation, and then we'll go from there. We appreciate you. Go ahead and click on that now. See you there.